A warm welcome to Executive Talks, a virtual space where executives talk and executives listen. Today, we have come to meet you with another interesting topic financial freedom. Much needed topic. In this video, we are going to talk about what is financial freedom and how can you achieve financial freedom. So, before we start the video, I would like to request all of you to subscribe to Executive Talks so that you can receive infotainment content like this in future which are needed for your success. Having said that, when we talk about financial freedom, we all want to achieve financial freedom. So there are 8 levels of financial freedom. So I extracted these 8 levels from a article which was published in the Forbes magazine. You can refer the article in the description below. According to that article, there are 8 levels of financial freedom. So let's look at one by one. And afterwards, we will look at how we can achieve financial freedom. There are some instruments that you can achieve financial freedom. So I'm going to tell you what are these instruments that you can invest in to achieve financial freedom. At the end of the video, I'm planning to give you a bonus point for you to plan for your financial freedom as well. So if you are an accountant, if you are a doctor, engineer, and a profession who doesn't have much time to look at your finances, who doesn't have much time to plan for your financial freedom, I think this is the ideal video for you. You might have a lot of money, but if you don't have time to manage your investment, I think this video is for you. Anyone who's looking for financial freedom, this video is for you. So let's jump into these 8 levels and look at what are these 8 levels of financial freedom. Now, the first level is having more money than you could ever spend. Let's take a few examples like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, and Bill Gates. These people have a lot of money and they don't know how to finish it by spending. So they have the 8th level of financial freedom. If you have abundance of money like that, you have the 8th level of financial freedom. But if you don't have that much money, your financial freedom will be at the 7th level. Let's look at what is the 7th level of financial freedom. The 7th level of financial freedom is having money for a dream retirement. What is a dream retirement? It is a very personal and a subjective question because your dream retirement could be different from my dream retirement. But I will give you a few examples for you to understand what is a dream retirement in a general way. Let's take an individual. Now, as you can see in this picture, an old gentleman is enjoying his retirement, watching some at a sea show or something like that. So, a dream retirement would look like this. You travel to other countries whenever you want. You have few bungalows or apartments in various part of the country, and you donate money to orphanages, temples, covils, mosques, and etc. And you engage in a lot of social work. So, which means you are at the dream retirement. So, if you have money like that to have a dream retirement, I think your financial freedom is at the 7th level. But if you don't have money like that, your financial freedom will be at the 6th level. What is the 6th level of financial freedom? 6th level of financial freedom is having money to retire well. Then again, a very personal and a subjective question. But ideally, a well retiring person, a person who's having a good retirement, would look like this: going to a private hospital to get treatments, driving his own vehicle, having money to pump petrol to his vehicle, having a house to live separately, having money to find basic supplies to life, which means you are having a good retirement. You have retired well. So that is the 6th level of financial freedom. When we look at the society, not everyone has this level of financial freedom. If you have money like that, your financial freedom will be at the sixth level. But if you don't have money like that, your financial freedom will be at the fifth level. What is the fifth level of financial freedom? Fifth level of financial freedom is having money for a basic retirement. What do I mean by a basic retirement? This is not a personal or a subjective question. A basic retirement would look like this. You find money to, you have enough money to have find your basic supplies like food, medicine, and etc. You have money to maybe to travel to another location, right? You have money to um, pay for public transportation, etc. So basically, you are having a not a comfortable life, a basic life, basic retirement life. To tell you, in Sri Lanka, only 50% of retired citizens have this kind of basic retirement. So if you have money like that, or if you have a plan to have a basic retirement when you retire, your financial freedom will be at the fifth level. But unfortunately, if you haven't done any savings, if you haven't done any planning, your financial freedom will be at the fourth level. What is the fourth level of financial freedom? Freedom of time. Now, we have seen enough and more people who have money to have a very good life, but they are very busy. They don't have time to maybe take a meal with their family, right? To maybe to have a leisure time. So which means they don't have freedom of time. They have money, they are living a good life, but they don't have the freedom of time. If you have money to find supplies for your basic life, and then again, and you have freedom of time also, then you are having the seventh level of financial freedom. Now if you don't have that level of financial freedom, your financial freedom will be at the third level. What is the third level of financial freedom? Enough to be financially happy and still save, which means you have money to find supplies for your life, and you save some amount of money as well. Let's take an example. uh, let's say for a month, for you to live, you need about 100,000, and you have 100,000 and you save another 10,000 in a bank for your kids higher education as well, which means you are having the third level of financial freedom. But if you don't have the third level of financial freedom, my dear friends, your financial freedom will be at the second level. What is the second level of financial freedom? As depicted in the picture, for you to take a nice vacation. We have seen a lot of people in Western countries. They take a leave maybe for about 2 to 3 months, and then they go to another country, and then they enjoy their vacation, a short vacation. If you can take a short vacation like that, which means you have the second level of financial freedom. But my dear friends, for you to take a vacation, let's say if something bad happens, like a critical illness, let's assume now you're diagnosed with a heart attack, and you happen to do an open heart surgery, and if you're diagnosed with cancer, right, in such a situation also you'll have to take a leave for a couple of months, right, for you to take treatments, and for you to have basic supplies, you need to have a fund. So if you have a fund like that, your financial freedom will be at the second level, which means you can take an off for about 5 to 6 months. So that is the second level of financial freedom. But if you don't have the second level of financial freedom, your financial freedom will be at the first level. What is the first level of financial freedom? Which means not living paycheck to paycheck. Let's assume now you are getting your salary on 25th every month. In a month, if you don't get the salary on 25th, right? If it is a problem for you, let's say you are getting your salary on 30th only, and that is a small problem, right? You are having a problem, right? You can't barely live without having that salary on the 25th. So which means you don't have the first level of financial freedom. So these are the levels of financial freedom, my dear friends. So you need to maybe go through all these steps, and maybe you should take corrective actions to achieve your financial freedom. So in short, I can tell you, financial freedom is uh, which means money works for you rather than you work for money. So having said that, let me tell you a couple of areas or avenues that you can invest money to achieve financial freedom. Like I told you before, there will be a bonus point as well at the end of the video. So now I'm going to tell you what are the instruments that you can invest in, as I told you earlier, to achieve financial freedom. So these are the instruments. So I'll take one by one. So what I'm gonna tell you is I will tell you the type of return that you get once you invest in these financial instruments, and the type of risk and type of return as well. So let me take uh, beg your pardon, let me start this discussion with treasury bills and treasury bonds. Now, we call them as government securities, right? So you get a return, right? Basically, you get a discounted price. Uh, let's say you buy a T bill which has a face value of 100 rupees for 90 initially, and with having the purpose of reselling it back to government in 1 year. So once you resell it to the government, you will get 100. So there you have a 10% interest, right? So the return is very low in this type of investment. Basically, we have a zero risk as well, right? Basically in cash calculations and all, we take treasury bills and treasury bonds interest rate as the risk-free interest rate, right? Which means you don't have a risk in investing treasury bills and treasury bonds, because you have the guarantee that you will get these money back, right? Having said that, let's move on to fixed deposit. Now, I have excluded saving accounts here because we all know about saving accounts, right? It doesn't give you much return, right? It's good for you to maybe collect funds, right? Rather than keeping it at home. Right, that is a threat actually. You're keeping your money at home, so you keep your money at the bank. So that is saving account. Now the next level is fixed deposits, right? If you take a fixed deposits, you will get a return that is interest, and you have a low return, right? Not a good return. Basically, in Sri Lanka these days, we have a very low return for fixed deposits because the interest rates are quite below, and they are not up to standard, and the government wanted to maintain the interest rate at a single digit. So the risk is also, I can't say risk is nil, but it's low because these banks are government institutions, and uh, so there is a certain risk attached to it. And the next financial instrument is debentures, right? Basically, this is like you are giving a loan to a corporate, right? So you have a designated interest rate that you will get, and you have a medium return slightly above than fixed deposits, and the risk is also moderate. You have a moderate risk in investing in debentures. Moving forward, stock investments. So let me take few minutes to explain stock investments. It is a very high return, high risk financial instrument. So type of return is dividends. You have two types of financial returns, dividends and capital gains. Dividend means you invest in a company. Let's say you buy, let's say 1,000 shares from ABC company, and then they, out of the profit that they earn in a given year, they will give you a return that is called dividend. And there are capital gains as well, which means you, let's say you buy a certain let's say a share at the price of 10 rupees, and then later you can sell it at the rate of 15 rupees. There you make a profit of 5 rupees. So if you have purchased, let's say 1,000 shares, probably you can make a 5,000 profit. That is a capital gain. But I must tell you, this is a very risky investment because you have high return. Of course, when you have a high return, you have a high risk. Beg your pardon, there was a small connection issue. The reason why I tell you this has a high risk is because if the price goes down right? You will lose your entire investment. And when you invest in stock investments, probably uh, you might be thinking that look here, I have good stock investment, but you have to keep an eye on your stock investments, because in a day, right, within a minute, anything can happen, right? So because these stocks are sensitive to news and financial information and all that. So now, when we move further, now the next level is starting your own venture, right? Type of return would be profit. So you have high returns because you have the ability of taking the entire return to you, right? Now, in a stock investment, company would retain a certain portion of the profit and then they will declare dividend. But if you start your own venture, you have the ability of taking entire profit to you. And just like the return is high, the risk is also high. Now in stock investments, if something bad happens, you are losing only the invested money. But when you are starting your own venture, my dear friends, you might if something bad happens, you might lose your reputation as well. So having said that, so these are the formal investment options that you can go for you to plan for your financial freedom. And there are some informal, right, other sort of investment options as well, now, like lands, gold, and apartments. Now these investment options are not formal, and you need a lot of involvement to manage these investment options. Now there is a risk attached to it. Now if you take lands, now in 2009, we all know that a global crisis happened, global financial crisis. Now this happened because the land prices went down, right, in USA. So like that, you might lose your land, right? You might lose your investment, right, by investing in these uh, options. Now it's good to have these options as well, if you have properly managed previously discussed financial instruments, right? Now uh, the problem is, do you have money, right? Do you have I beg your pardon, the problem is, do you have time to manage all of these investments? Now I at the beginning of this video I told you, now for if you are a gentleman or a professional, it could be a lady or gentleman, if you are a professional who doesn't have much time to invest in these or to look into these investment options, this is the ideal video for you. Now, I'm going to tell you, like I told you before, I'm going to give you a bonus point, right? So now the bonus point is life insurance as as an instrument for financial freedom. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the thing is, you don't get these protections from above financial instruments like T-bills, T-bonds, debentures, fixed deposits, stock investments, and starting your own venture, right? In if something happens to you, and if you are diagnosed with a critical illness, or if you're diagnosed with a let's say cancer, right? If you're disabled, right? If, if you happen to die, right, unfortunately you won't be able to maintain these financial instruments, right? Let's say if you are bedridden, right, you won't be able to check your portfolio in investments, right? Let's say if you diagnose with a critical illness, you won't be able to save more and add more money to your uh, uh, fixed deposit. So if when you take an insurance, your money is managed beautifully. Let me tell you an example. Now when you invest, let's say 100,000 rupees in an insurance company, in an insurance policy, they will invest this 100,000 in various instruments, like they invest in T-bills, they invest in stock market, they invest in fixed deposit, they invest in debentures, right? Many investment avenues, and they will give you an average return, right? It's like you are maintaining a portfolio. So I'll come to that. Plus, you will get the protection of these three as well, right? In case if you happen to maybe diagnose with a critical illness, right? If you happen to uh, uh, let's say you can't work and you are disabled, totally permanent disabled, you can't earn a sum. In that situation, your investment is protected. That's why I would recommend you to go for an insurance as well. Now, uh, now I'm coming to this. Now, before coming to this, let me conclude that now in a when you are going for financial freedom, basically in other instruments like savings, T-bills, T-bonds, FDs, stock markets, and all this. So you want to achieve financial freedom, and you are building your money share by share, right? A portion by portion. You're investing it and building it. But when you're going for insurance, you create the money and then you start investing it. So that's the beauty of going for insurance. So I can recommend you to maybe if you want to plan for your financial freedom, start it with an insurance, right? That would be a great things because you have protected your dream and then you start investing in. Having said that, if you recognize this gentleman, this is Warren Buffett. So this gentleman is very special because of two reasons, right? First thing is he was the world richest man in 2008. That he's an amazing achievement, and the more interesting fact is he was among the fourth richest men in the world from 1997 to 2020, which means he has kept himself in fourth above fourth position for about 3 decades, right? He is a master at investing in companies. So he says, don't put your all eggs in one basket, right? Don't put your all eggs in one basket. So, like I told you, don't go solely for insurance, as in, right? You should have portfolio of investment. So you should invest in insurance, you should invest in FDs, you should invest in stock market, you should invest in debentures, if possible have some T-bills, and you can buy certain T-bills and T-bonds from primary dealers. So go for it, right? So this is the this is our discussion, ladies and gentlemen. So we spoke about 8 levels of financial freedom. Maybe you can have a self-evaluation about yourself, about your financial freedom, right? And then we spoke about the instruments that you can invest in going for financial freedom. And I gave you a bonus point as well, which was going for insurance because it can create your financial freedom, and then you can start investing in the insurance policy, and then you can maybe diversify. And the last point was, don't put your all eggs in one basket, right? If you like, let's say if you have uh, stock investments, FDs, T-bills, and all that, so try investing insurance as well, and don't only go for insurance, and go for other investment avenues as well. So having said that, I'm going to conclude our video, right? I would like to request all of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can receive infotainment content and content like this for you to learn something new for your life and to progress ahead. Having said that, let me thank all of you. Stay safe.